Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I wanted to make a card that is kind of inspired by a lot of natural elements like wood grain and natural wood veneer tones, and I've got some metallic copper going on in there, and I just thought it would make such a cool card, so I pulled together all these elements and got busy. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of real wood veneer paper. This is by Arc, and mine does not have self-adhesive stuff on the back, so I'm just taking a piece of Stick It and applying that to the back. It's a nice, very thin, delicate adhesive that's perfect for, delicate die cuts and things, and it's going to be easy to use my low profile die to cut through both those layers. And I'm just going to peel those out of the die and then use my little pokey tool here to get any of the remainder out of the ejection holes of the die. And I've taken my wood grain card. This is white wood grain cardstock, and it's a nice heavy weight. And I'm going to crease it and fold it with my bone folder there. And I wanted to add some black spatter, so I'm going to use some acrylic paint. This is Black Soot Distress paint, and I've kind of tapped the applicator there onto the edge of an acrylic block, and then I'm using a wet paintbrush to create some really fine spatters. But I didn't get any globs on there, and I kind of wanted a few globs, so I'm going to fake it by loading up my brush with paint and then just dipping them very strategically and specifically where I want them. Hopefully it will look random though, not like I did that on purpose. And then I'm going to set that aside to dry and take a piece of black cardstock from my scrap bin and prep it with some anti-static powder using that little pouch there. And this will eliminate any moisture from the surface of the paper because I want to do some heat embossing, and I only want the embossing powder to stick to where the Versamark ink is going to go down. Now I'm using the Mini Misty and a piece of quilter's template I picked up at the fabric store, and it comes pre-printed with a 1/4 inch grid, and I trimmed it to size. This is an A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I also marked the crosshairs dead center with a Sharpie marker on the back side so that I would know where the center of that would be. But anyway, I'm going to take some words that I want to work with from the Totally Awesome stamp set, get those lined up, and then when I close the lid of the Misty, it will transfer all the stamps to the lid of the Misty. And I'm ready to bring back my black cardstock and anchor that with the magnets and ink up the images with the Versamark ink. And then when I close the lid, this time everything is going to stamp all at the same time and nice and straight there onto my scrap of cardstock. So now I can go ahead and take this over to my little bowl here with the coffee filter. And I've got like a lifetime supply of copper embossing powder. I'm not going to run out of any of that anytime soon. But I bought it a long time ago when I was able to get some in bulk, and it's just going to take me probably the rest of my life to use it all up. Preheated my heat gun and went ahead and melted all that embossing powder. It's nice to preheat for about 30 seconds, and that way you'll get a faster embossing effect, and you won't have to worry so much about whether or not the paper warps a lot. So now I'm going to trim that down with my Fiskars trimmer. I love that thing. The metal guide is so awesome on it. And I'm going to use my trimmed out piece here to kind of plan my layout. I was going, at the beginning, I kind of pulled together all the elements I wanted to use, but I really didn't have a specific layout in mind. So I'm kind of winging that part. And I decided to grab some copper thread. And I love the delicateness of this and how it brings in a metallic accent to the design and kind of coordinates there with the sentiment that was embossed with copper embossing powder. So now I can go ahead and peel away the liner paper on the back of my die cut pieces, and I'm going to anchor those right over the top, and this will glue the messy nest of thread there that I had coiled around my fingers. It will anchor that to the front of the card, and I don't have to worry about gluing them down separately. So now we've got those in place, and I want to take the back side of that and just rub on the back just to make sure that I'm adhering those. It's a lot easier to rub from the back side than to try to press down and rub my fingers across the front to anchor those die cuts. So now I'm just gauging how much I need to trim off the ends of my sentiment strip here, and I just used my fingernail or my thumbnail to mark those off, and go ahead and come back over to my Fiskars trimmer and get those whacked off on the end there. And I'm going to add some foam tape to the back. I just have some little skinny strips there I added to the back. And once I start to mount that in place, I find it's a lot easier to use a set of tweezers to hang on to it because my fingers always get in the way and it's hard to make sure I got everything anchored on there straight. So that's why I love to use those tweezers so much. And I'm also going to grab some sequins. I felt that this design needed just a little bit more something something, and it dawned on me that those beautiful rose gold Pretty Pink Posh sequins would be the perfect complement to this card. So I went ahead and placed some where I thought they would look good in a mix of sizes, and then I grabbed some multi-medium and squirted that onto a little post-it note, and then I can just grab the sequins with my tweezers and swipe the back side there through that little puddle of liquid adhesive and get them mounted in place. And I thought these elements came together and really created a cool card. I'm not sure whether I'd call this feminine or masculine. I think you could get away with giving it to a female or a male for their birthday. Anyway, I loved how it turned out. It did come out as I was thinking and envisioning. All the supplies are available at ellenhutson.com, and we have more still shots and details at the Classroom blog. Thanks for watching.